All right, so I want to talk about the road to the sale. Who's been in the business longer than 2-3 years? You heard of the road to the sale, right? Let me ask you one question about the road to the sale. You ever seen it printed? Have you ever seen one road to the sale that says, meet, greet, pull bureau? You ever seen that? Why? Thank you. Who said that? It don't work, right? Then why do you insist on continuing to do that? The road to the sale, who's been doing this 25 years? 20 plus years. Has it changed? It hasn't changed in 25 years, right? So through the invention of the cell phone, through the invention of the internet, through the invention of Netflix, through the invention of 8,000 television channels, the road to the sale hasn't changed. So one of these other $100,000 a year habits, which is why I was telling you the first 4 steps are that important, is to make sure you don't fall into that trap. Nobody is that good to where a customer drives up, in 3 minutes, you know everything about how they're going to buy a car. It's not possible. Do they even know all the time how they're going to buy a car? They don't even know. And they're in their head 24 hours a day. So stop assuming that you know. So I'm going to start by going over the road to the sale and the meet and greet. Now, the one thing that I don't believe that is taught to you about the road to the sale is that it's no different no matter which way you meet a customer. We talked about building rapport. We talked about building trust. We talk about building value. We talk about asking for the order. And we talk about it in that order. But when you get a customer who walks in the door, whether they call on the phone or whether they come through on the internet, the road to the sale doesn't change. Just because you got a phone call or because somebody comes over the internet and says, what is the best price to this 2019 Toyota Camry? If they come in the front door, are you conditioned to say, well, the best price is $19,875? Do you do that when they come in the front door? So why would you think we're supposed to do that on the phone? Why would you think we're supposed to do that on the internet? It doesn't work that way. The road to the sale stays the same. So, professional greeting. If you roll over to the page after the road to the sale, it goes over the professional greeting. Now, before I go over the professional greeting, I want to tell you guys a story. How many of you guys in the room have animals? Have a dog? I really can't use a cat in this scenario because they don't really fit the equation. Who does not have a dog? Raise your hand. If you don't have a dog. Do you have a kid? Young kid? Not a teenager. They don't count. I mean, they really, really count, I promise. They can count really high, especially when you're handing out hundreds. But they don't count in this story. So if you have a dog and you just came home from a long day of work and you open up the door, what does the dog do? Is he not wagging his tail? I mean, almost so much that you think his butt's going to fly off. He is so excited to see you. Or she. I mean, they are so excited to see you. They are wagging their tail and they are pumped to see you. Now, before you answer an internet lead, before you answer the phone call or make an outbound phone call, and before you shake a customer's hand, that's what I want you to put in your head, is that vision of that dog and how excited they are to see you. And if you don't have a dog, it's your 6-year-old when they see you walk in the door. Because what they do is they run up as fast as they can and they almost choke you out because they're so excited to see you. Now, how do you feel at that moment? I mean, do you not feel like king of the world at that exact moment? Now, if you greeted every one of your customers with that kind of enthusiasm, how would they feel? Special. They would feel special. Because I assure you, they are sizing you up in a quarter of a second of whether or not you're the person they should buy a car from. That means your tone, your body language, how you shake their hand, your eye contact, it all matters. Every ounce of it matters. And if you really, really tell them, man, I am so happy you're here. Tell me, what are you driving now?
Nothing.
You're driving nothing?
Nothing.
What were you driving?
Nothing.
Oh, well, we need to get you some wheels in.
Absolutely.
Okay? So, I just want you to make sure that when you are doing a meet and greet, that is what they experience. Because if you want to make $100,000 a year plus, if you want to go higher and higher and higher, you are going to have to make everybody feel special. Hi, I'm Travis. Welcome to I-95 Toyota. I am so happy that you're here. And then we move right into step 2, which is what? Pre-appraisal and gather information. I don't know if this is the process that you guys have in terms of the actual pre-appraisal, but we'll go over what you should do regardless of whether your dealership's process is exactly the pre-appraisal. Because the gathering information based on their trade-in is what's going to get you to step 3, to step 4, to step 5. What I like to do, what everything about my training does, revolves around this symbol right here. What is that symbol? It's a percentage sign, right? What I want to teach you, what I'm going to teach you over the next 2 days, is everything I teach you is going to increase the probability of a close. The probability of a close. And all of the steps are building blocks, no different than your career path. One on the other on the other. And it's going to start with that greeting. I shouldn't even call it a professional greeting. It should be the wag your tail greeting. That way you know every single time when I go greet somebody, I'm going to wag my tail. I am so happy they're here. I am excited to see them. This is an opportunity to meet somebody, create a relationship, sell a car, feel great, and make $1. And then after I make them feel like that, I'm either going to be close to their car, or I got them on the phone, or they're on the internet. I'm going to figure out, okay, what is the car I need to help them with? This customer who came to me with a problem that they want me to solve. How many customers walk in the door just because they want to hang out? Maybe 1 out of 200, 0.5%? Maybe just want to taste the coffee? Do we have good coffee here? We do have good. Do we have good coffee at all the stores? Does anybody have crappy coffee? Okay, well that's something exciting. Good, I'm glad we serve good coffee. I like coffee. Anyway, anybody who comes in this store has a problem that they want solved. And our job is to figure out what that problem is. Because they're not just going to reveal the problem. Some of them come right in and throw it right out there. But if I utilize the one article that is in front of us to be able to figure out what their problem is, then I'm going to be able to sell a car. Now, what is the one problem one article that I can use to figure out what their problem is? How do I do that? How do I do needs assessment? You're cheating. I use their current car. So if there's one thing I want you to write down as big as possible on your sheet of paper, in your book, on the inside of your hand, in your phone, I want you to remember these words. What are you driving now? What are you driving now? Step 1, I'm so excited you're here. I know you have a problem. I have to figure it out. What are you driving now? Either I met them on the lot because they pulled in, And I see they're driving a 2016 Highlander. I see that you're driving a 2016 Highlander. They call on the phone. I want a price on a Camry. Great, we have lots of Camrys. Tell me something. What are you driving now? They come through on the internet. I want the best price that you have on a 2018 Silverado, 2019 Silverado. Man, what a great choice. A Silverado. What do you drive now? I'm going to follow the same step, whether it's coming in the front door, on the phone, or on the internet.